Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, the 19th of February. The year is flowing by really quick. Um, Blessed be the name of the Lord. Bless Jesus and his holy name. I want to come on here. There's just been a lot of news hitting pretty hard in the last 24 to 48 hours. There's some crazy stuff going on, and I think these things are going to be affecting a lot of people right now. And so anyhow, let me see here. Okay, sorry about that. Anyhow, yes. Okay, so yeah, I want to kind of throw you over here real quick and let you kind of see a quick update of what I'm talking about. So let's start that right now. And let me get me turned off.
But first, then, just prior to Donald Trump's return to the White House, Volodymyr Zelensky had expressed optimism that the now U.S. president could broker peace with Russia. Well, just a month into Trump's presidency, the Ukrainian president, his tone rather, is now much different. The Ukrainian president, his tone rather, is now much different. Zelensky insisting that Donald Trump helped bring Vladimir Putin out of isolation. He was also forced to specify that Ukraine will not sell his country in any deal with Washington through giving access to its critical resources, a plan that Donald Trump has indeed floated in recent days. Here's the Ukrainian president.
We have seen this disinformation. We understand that it comes from Russia. We understand that. And we have evidence that these numbers are being discussed between America and Russia. So unfortunately, President Trump, who we have great respect for as the leader of the American people, whom we respect very much, who supports us constantly, unfortunately lives in this disinformation space.
Well, to Zelensky's point, then, the Kremlin swiftly hailed Donald Trump's remarks. The Russian foreign minister describing Trump as the only Western leader who has publicly and loudly said that one of the root causes of the war in Ukraine was the previous administration's efforts to bring Kyiv into NATO. On Tuesday, Donald Trump essentially blamed Zelensky for the duration of the war, claiming, I quote, he could have made a deal long ago. So Delano D'Souza with the details.
Locking horns with Ukraine's president from a distance in Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump took a swipe at Volodymyr Zelensky after Kyiv's vocal disapproval for being left out of talks between the U.S. and Russia aimed at ending the war in Ukraine.
And I'm very disappointed. I hear that, they're upset about not having a seat. Well, they've had a seat for 3 years and a long time before that. This could have been settled very easily. Just a half-baked negotiator could have settled this years ago.
Trump says he's confident Moscow wants to do something to end the war, as he reiterated a Kremlin allegation that falsely questions Zelensky's legitimacy.
A situation where we haven't had elections in Ukraine, where we have martial law, or essentially martial law in Ukraine, where the leader in Ukraine, I hate to say it, but he's down at 4% approval rating. That's not a Russia thing. That's something coming from me.
The U.S. president's latest false statement came hours after the first talks in years between American and Russian officials. The negotiations in Riyadh were described as positive by both sides. Trump reportedly wants to have a deal with Russia wrapped up quickly and could even meet the country's president by the end of this month, a statement that's now been confirmed by the Kremlin.
Well, for more on this, then, France 24 senior international.
Okay, guys, so real quick, again, I talk about the drone view, taking a bird's eye view at the whole situation. If Trump is really outing who Zelensky really is. Zelensky's talking about, hey, I'm not gonna put up our country for sale. We're not gonna give any minerals away to the U.S. and stuff. How many billions of dollars, 300 and some billion dollars we've already given to that country? Listen at the snot-nosed, unappreciative, person that this man is. And Trump is just saying, I don't think Trump is saying, hey, we're going to go back from what we give you and we need, money for that. I think Trump is like, going forward, let us develop, and the sale of what we go out and work for to extract the rare earth minerals from your country, we take half of it. I don't think that's a bad deal to keep Russia from taking over Ukraine. They won't have a country if we're not there. So anyhow, that's the deal. Trump, he's crying about not being at the table. Putin don't want him at the table. Trump is trying to soften Putin and get these talks started. Now, Russia wants to have relations with U.S. again. That's starting back up. Biden cut all that off. Biden brought NATO into it. Zelensky wanted NATO. This is why this whole thing started, because Putin is not going to have NATO right at its door, filled with tanks and armored missiles and everything else. At a whim, they could just, shoot into Moscow. So no, that was never going to happen, and that was the threat that Zelensky basically gave Russia, and Russia's like, yeah, okay, we're moving in, and between that, but anyhow, just aside from all that, and I'm not going to make this very long today, but yeah, this thing is really going south real quick with this guy talking this stuff. He should have just sat back and been quiet. Trump is really outing him for who he is. And again, this guy is saying, oh, we don't know where half of the money that you guys supposedly gave us went. So, yeah, a lot of things are hitting the fan, and not going to be good for Ukraine. Europe is squawking like a baby and threatening and all kinds of stuff, and trying to make Donald Trump look bad. It's not going to end well for them. 77 million people voted for Donald Trump. More than half of the voting population voted for Donald Trump. We stand behind this man and his decisions. He was very transparent in what he was going to do, and that's why we elected him. And like it or not, it goes forward, and I'm still behind the guy. So he's doing what he said he was going to do. We expected him to do this, and that's what he's doing. Don't complain about it now. Anyhow, sorry about your luck if you didn't vote for him. You don't agree with all this, but there's millions of people that put him in office that do agree with him, and we're tired of giving the rest of the world all of our money and living below our means today. We have so many billionaires and then the poor. Billionaires and the poor. Millionaires and the poor. There's no middle class anymore. These lame congressmen that's supposed to represent the people have screwed us all over, and they have killed middle class. How many people that's not actually rich can go out and afford a brand new car every year, to have plenty of money if they want to go put a down payment, big sizable down payment on another house or a cottage or a vacation? No, it doesn't exist anymore, folks. You're either wealthy or you're struggling, and those that are doing fine make their bills each month. I mean, they're paycheck to paycheck. If they lost a month or 3 months of work, they're losing everything, and that's where we are in this country. And the big reason is because look at all these billions of dollars that have been going all over, and just watch the news. It's all over the news. I'm not going to repeat all the ignorant spending that's been going on. I could mention a few. I'm not going to. I'm not even going to waste my time. It's all out there. News is reporting how much money, millions and millions of dollars, are going for frivolous stuff in other countries, and we have people on welfare and everything else that are struggling to put food on their table, pay their rent and their bills in this country, in the world's most wealthy country. And it's sad, but that's where it is. And I'm not trying to, we're blessed. I know there's a lot of people say, oh, well, our country, is snotty nose and, we should give to everybody else. And, well, that's the problem. If this country wasn't doing right, God wouldn't bless it. And I know a lot of people think, oh, we're just Satan and we're doing all this. But listen, there's no country in the world that has done more good than America. And we've given more money and more care to other countries than any one nation in the whole world in its existence. And so, anyhow, I'm a patriot, going to stay a patriot, and I love this country, and I love what it stands for. And I think it's time to get back to the people that have worked their butts off and have got to live in week-to-week paychecks because these idiot politicians are sending all of our money everywhere else to line their pockets. And all this money going to Zelensky, I think it's all ruse. I think a lot of this stuff has went missing for a reason. It's going to loop back into the politicians' pockets. And I hope Doge really uncovers this stuff and people literally have to go to jail for stealing from we the people. So anyhow, we're going to end here. I got another video coming up, and I just want everybody to know that God is still in charge. Trust in Jesus, and He will bring it to pass. And pray and ask and believe. And if it ain't happening, go make it happen, because that's the God we serve. If it's not happening, if you're praying for something that's not happening, it's because you didn't do something, or because it's in your best interest not to have it in the first place, because God already sees what holds tomorrow. And anyhow, God bless y'all, and I hope y'all listening to these messages